If you've ever stared at a decor transfer and thought, what if I mess this up? What if it doesn't stick? Then this video is for you.
Wisconsin is bracing for Winter Storm Brenda, and honestly, the fear of messing up, of failing, reminds me of when I first picked up the guitar.
Your decor transfers won't stick because you're doing it wrong. You don't know what they will or won't adhere to, so you don't bother using them at all. You're just afraid to try. Well, I'm about to help you out. I spent the last 24 hours experimenting with 11 different kinds of paints and finishes. What I've learned about decor transfers and how they adhere to different kinds of paints is really kind of interesting. And so I think the information I've got is going to help you overcome your fear of the transfers. Whether you're a DIY pro or a beginner, you will be transforming furniture and home decor in no time. We are smack dab in the middle of another Wisconsin snowstorm. This is the big one. It's called Winter Storm Brenda. Lots of wind, blowing wind, lots of snow. It's pretty calm outside right now, but I thought it would be interesting to step outside every once in a while during this video and just see how much snow is accumulated. So let's go check and see how much we've got on the ground right now.
Deep already.
So this is the amount of snow that we've gotten so far today. So it looks like we are at about 7 inches so far today. I'll show you exactly how to apply transfers with confidence, from selecting the proper paint to applying the transfer itself. And just for you, I've created a little help for you so you've got something that you can take away with you. It's called How to Apply Decor Transfers with Confidence, a step-by-step guide for every paint type. Take a deep breath. And just know, by the end of this video, you will be applying decor transfers like a pro. So come on, let's do this. To start from the very beginning, IOD transfers are pressure-sensitive images that rub onto furniture, small decor, and crafts. They're easy to use, and they add instant beauty to all of your projects. The Fairy Tale Florals transfers feature floral motifs often seen in historical textiles and pottery. Each sheet showcases a range of charming flowers, including roses, tulips, and other blooms in darling vintage compilations. This set of transfers includes plenty of symmetrical arrangements and facing pairs, making it perfect for a variety of layouts. Keep your transfer on its backing sheet until you're ready to use it and keep it free from dust and debris. My experiment includes craftwood cubes that have painted up with 11 different paints and finishes. It's important to sand and clean all of the cubes before you begin painting to allow for the best adhesion. When considering all the various paints that are available currently, milk paint, old-fashioned milk paint, has become really popular, and it's a paint that you might find on old pieces of furniture, so I thought this would be the perfect paint to start out with. Paint number 2 is a chalk paint by Magnolia Home. Chalk paint is really popular these days and another good choice for this project. Metallics and metallic paint have become very popular in decor again, so I've chosen a metallic accents paint by Rust-Oleum for paint number 3. Acrylic paints became popular in the 1940s and can be found in old homes and new homes alike. Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint has raving fans in the furniture and DIY project arena, so I've chosen that as paint number 5. This watercolor paint is really similar to a water-based stain, so I've chosen it for paint number 6. You'll find latex paint everywhere in interior, so I've chosen a Rust-Oleum latex paint for paint number 7. Paint number 8 is a traditional artist's oil paint. And paint number 9 is an all-in-one furniture paint by Heirloom Traditions. I threw in some crafter's paint at slot number 10. And finally, a paint beloved by furniture painters. It's DIY paint by Debbie's Design Diary. Then about an hour and a half later, let's just see what the snow accumulation is now. Still going, still going. Here we go. I'm showing definitely 8 inches, so we got what, another inch probably since we're out last, inch and a quarter maybe. Oh wow, welcome to Wisconsin. Looks like it might be about time for Romeo to get out the shovel. give all of our transfers the best opportunity to stick properly, I have cleaned and lightly sanded any of these paints that have kind of a slick surface to them. Powdered milk paint, when dried, has a soft, almost a matte finish to it and really should be sealed with a top coat. I haven't done the sealing today, but I'm going to seal it when I'm all done if this transfer goes on, as I hope it will. All right, take a deep breath. You can do this. First, find a small portion of the design that you want to transfer onto your block and cut it out. Next, you're going to carefully peel back that protective layer and then just sort of eyeball where you're going to want your transfer to lie on the block. Now, don't press it down until you're ready to, because once you do, it will start to stick. When you find that placement that you're happy with, firmly press that transfer down onto your surface. And many find it's useful to use painter's tape to hold the transfer into place. Use your transfer tool with moderate pressure, not too hard, not too soft, to rub that transfer off onto the wood. Now, as I'm working, I like to take a minute just to peek underneath to make sure that my transfer is actually adhering to the surface. You can do that by just lifting a corner ever so slightly. Now, this piece is certainly more complicated than what you would be dealing with. Typically, you're just going to be using a flat surface. You're going to press down your transfer. You're going to rub it on. You're going to peel back just a little bit to make sure it's adhering, and then gently pull the entire backing away. Here, I'm having to work around some corners and some edges. Takes a little bit more time, but it's possible. If you find there are small portions of the graphics that don't transfer, keep the transfer in place, lay the backing back down, and continue rubbing in that spot until that graphic peels off and adheres to the surface. For the best possible result, there's one step you can go further, and that's to burnish your transfer onto the surface. Simply take a small piece of the transfer backing and use small circles and just gently rub it onto the surface. This will help your transfer to stick and give you long-lasting results. So, what's the verdict? Decor transfer onto Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint? Success! I'll tell you, learning to master transfers kind of reminds me of when I picked up the guitar. This video is when I first started to play. I remember being incredibly stressed and near tears. I wanted to quit so many times because it was hard. Like my fingers hurt, the chords didn't sound right, and I swore my guitar was out to get me. But I kept at it, and now I can actually play a song or two. Perseverance plays off in music, and it plays off in IRD transfers too. Now that you've seen how to successfully apply an IOD transfer, let's walk through my experiment findings. The transfer went on this chalk paint like butter. Our IOD transfer easily applied to this water-based metallic paint. If you find yourself working with acrylic paint, you are in luck with transfer sticks. Transfers work great on that much-beloved mineral chalk paint. And just what about that watercolor paint? Well, the transfer worked great right over the paint and really well over a clear top coat. If you sand the dry paint just slightly before applying an IOD transfer to this Rust-Oleum latex paint, it goes on beautifully. Now, I know oil paint seems like a strange choice, but I've seen how crafty some of you are. Choose oil paint that is well cured and it'll work wonders. New paint, not so much. Although you're not likely to find crafter's acrylic on larger pieces of furniture that you might be working on, you will run across it in smaller projects. So I decided to give this particular paint a shot, and the crafter's acrylic really did quite well with the transfers. Didn't matter if it was blue or if the color was green, it worked like a charm. Sadly, the IOD transfers didn't stick to one of my favorite paints, DIY Paint by Debbie's Design Diary. However, if you give it a polyacrylic top coat and let it dry, the transfer will stick on beautifully. It's supposed to be really, really cold today. 6 degrees maybe. 18 hours into Winter Storm Brenda. Let's check the accumulation. Let's just see. This spot says we are just below 9 inches. Now, whether you're working on an old piece of furniture or something new, keep in mind that your paint and your top coat have to dry for 24 hours before you can apply a transfer. Water-based top coats are going to be the best, and if there's a little bit of sheen to them, make sure you sand them slightly before applying your transfer. Once the transfer is down, apply another layer of the water-based top coat for longevity. Now, as a general rule, wax and oil-based paints and top coats are not great for applying transfers. However, you can use a wax to seal over the top of your transfer for protection, but avoid anything that has an oil base as it'll destroy and break down your transfer. So, hey, look at you. You did it. You can do this. The most important thing to know when working with Decor transfers is what type of paint or finish do I plan to apply it to? Is it friendly to a transfer application? If painting your piece, allow 24 hours for it to dry and make sure your surface is clean and free from dust and debris. If it has a high sheen, make sure you sand it just a little bit before applying a transfer and avoid wax surfaces and peeling paint or varnish. Seal your completed transfer with a polyacrylic or wax, and keep in mind that oil-based sealants will break down your transfer and should be avoided. And not surprisingly, the best way to overcome fear and build confidence with transfers is through practice. Choose transfers with smaller images that can be cut up and trimmed to fit smaller projects. And just like learning the guitar, your transfer confidence will grow with practice and every successful transfer application. Be sure to visit H2 Home Designs for all of your decor, transfer, and IOD product needs. And while you're there, don't forget to download our free guide so that you too can apply decor transfers like a pro. If you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to H2 Home Designs on YouTube, where I share lots of innovative and artful design ideas that help you to create a home that you love. Links to the H2 Home Designs website and to more innovative and artful video ideas can be found in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe for more creative inspiration, and if you're in the Green Bay, Wisconsin area, I'm your local IOD stockist, so come by and visit me for all your decor transfer needs.